This weekend, and we're glad that you're with us. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, and Alana Rizzo. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Dodgers, brought to you by Blue Shield of California. Jock Peterson will lead things off for Dave Roberts. Then Max Muncy starting at second base for the third time this season. At third is Justin Turner, the old New York Met. Kemp, Bellinger, and Puig in the middle of the order. Three guys trying to get things going after a rough last week or so. Hernandez is at short. Chris Taylor getting the day off at least out of the starting lineup with a hamstring. And that lineup faces off with Zach Wheeler, who's 28 years old and former top prospect Oral that's had some injuries. He's finally healthy now. He's been better the last few starts as that velocity has started to tick up.
As the velocity has gone up, his mind has gotten more relaxed. I think he is more into, I am human. Baseball might not last forever, so I'm just going to let it go. And as he lets it go, he's touched 99. And Dodger bats better get it going in a hurry these next two games, because you're facing average fastballs that are the top two in the National League. DeGrom tomorrow, Wheeler tonight.
You mentioned the increase in velocity. There it is. Last 6 games averaging 97. And in 5 of the last 6, he's touched 99. Included hitting 100 on the gun 2 starts ago. So the 28-year-old out of Georgia trying to ride that velocity against this Dodger lineup, which has plated just 15 runs in the last 7 games after that red-hot start to the month. Off we go with a fastball at 97, strike 1. Dodgers have dropped 3 of 4, but even with that, National League best 12-5 in June. The Mets, meanwhile, have lost 20 of their last 26 games. And man, you go back to the first 2 weeks of the season, they were one of the big stories in all of baseball. Franchise best 11-1 start, 20-40 since. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
They've gotten hurt. They've gotten a little slower. There are a lot of slumps offensively. Their bullpen has been a mess. It's a good time for the Dodgers to get healthy and get right here in New York.
On a 1-2 pitch, Peterson chases a high fastball, 1 out.
Zach Wheeler threw 1 changeup in this at bat, and the changeup now is getting to be more of a split finger changeup. His normal okay changeup was getting hit around above 300 by the league, so he's gone more to the splitter.
It's ready to face Max Muncy. And a fastball takes off on him, 1-0. Dodgers have seen Zach Wheeler 1 time. It was last June. Actually, almost exactly 1 year ago, June 19th, and he had one of the worst starts of his career. Gave up 7 runs in 2 innings, including 3 home runs. Bellinger with a home run in each of the first 2 innings of that game. Justin Turner hit a home run as well. Now the 4th-year big leaguer, home of the 1-1. Once he lifts his hands on strike 2.
98 miles an hour on the inside corner. That is going to be very hard to hit if he locates with that velocity.
Fastball up, 2-2. And even though he's a former top prospect, big guy, has been his entire career, this is the hardest he's ever thrown. He's been a high velocity guy, but never like this. Ground ball, lunging play by Rosario, and from his knee throws in time to get Muncy. He says hold on and take a look. Bob Guerin will get on the phone and see what John Pratt says on this replay.
Each of the first 2 hitters from the Dodgers got a changeup. Muncy hit the ground ball on that changeup. Nice play up the middle and just enough velocity on the throw to get him out.
So 2 up and 2 down for Zach Wheeler. And Justin Turner comes up. Former New York Met. Been on base in 9 consecutive games after his walk in the finale in Chicago a couple days ago. On a 1-0 pitch, Wheeler gets in on his hands. And at first, Wilmer Flores to put an end to a 1-2-3 first inning on just 11 pitches. Here comes Alex Wood, ready to take the ball for the Dodgers in this series opener. And it looks like this with Brandon Nimmo to lead it off. Then Todd Frazier and Asdrubal Cabrera. Flores, Conforto, Bautista in the middle, and Mesoraco doing the catching for Wheeler, and Ahmed Rosario starting in short and hitting 8th. For Alex Wood, Saturday against San Francisco, a run over 5 2/3, and was as good as we've seen him in a while.
Gotten a lot better with the location. The command has been there for as far as strikes, but not as far as the location down by the knees. The last outing was a little bit of a rebounding outing, and I really believe he's starting to develop a little foundation now and some confidence that he can pitch consistently down in the strike zone and have a couple of off-speed pitches he can locate.
27-year-old from Charlotte, North Carolina, home with the first pitch of the night, and it's in for a strike. He's faced the Mets a bunch in his career, having started his career in the division with the Atlanta Braves, but is still looking for his first win against New York. On an 0-1, he misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike. ERA's below 4, but he's 0-3 against the Mets. Ahead of Nimmo 1-2. It's almost impossible not to at least make one early comment about the airplane flying overhead.
When I pitched here as a home pitcher for 1 year and as a visitor for a long time, I used to time with the airplanes when I deliver the pitch. I thought maybe the noise would actually be rattling the hitters.
A 1-2. That's up.
I found out a little later it was harder to play defense because you can't hear the crack of the bat. So I decided I'm going to time it the other way later in my career.
Matt Kemp was saying today that, and he's not sure if they still do it here, but at Shea, the Mets used to put on pickoff plays at second to time out with when the planes were flying overhead. Wood gets a strikeout of Nimmo. You couldn't hear back, back, back.
Exactly. And that would be an interesting way to do that. I like that. When you get enough reps with enough planes going over, you can come up with all these creative ideas of how to use them.
And you do get enough reps. Todd Frazier comes up in a scoreless first inning. Mentioned the Mets being banged up. Todd Frazier is one of those guys that has spent significant time on the disabled list this year. The hamstring injury, in fact, the first disabled list stint of his entire career. But it's not just him. Obviously, the big one is Yoenis Cespedes. Has missed more than half of the season and isn't close to coming back, they say, with quad, hip flexor issues. Woods 2-0. Curves in for a strike, 2-1.
Cespedes tweaked his quad, and it was an old injury from last year, and there were some in the organization that said maybe he needs to come out and go on the DL, get it completely rested. He kind of fought his way back into the lineup even though he wasn't healthy, and that's when it really got hurt.
As an offense as a whole, they've been down near the bottom of the National League on the year, but lately, part of that is they went through Coors Field, but lately they've been much better. 7 runs per game over the last week. Full count on Frazier. So 7 a game over the last week. The 2 weeks prior to that, they were averaging a run and a half per game. On a 3-2, Frazier swings and misses, and Alex Wood starts his night with back-to-back Ks.
Nice confidence boost for Alex Wood. You come off a good start where really you're starting to feel like yourself, get some results. Then to get a couple of strikeouts right away, be locating the ball, maybe get on a roll.
2 up, 2 down, and here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Team's hot streak offensively has matched his own. 375 in a 5-game hitting streak. Ball 1.
I mean, we got to comment on the airplane. We got to comment on the shoes.
Nice.
Wow.
They're like your ties.
Hey, hey, hey. Okay. I'll let that one go.
1-1. I think if you look closely, there's even some paisley.
Oh, that is a backhanded. There are no paisleys there. The only people laughing at that one are our crew.
You may be surprised. 2-1.
We're going to have to get a Twitter account for my tie.
That's great.
Instagram a tie every day.
I was thinking more a parody account.
Okay.
Chopper wide a third, 2-2. So it would tweet the same thing every day. Hi, I'm Paisley. Although today is not necessarily Paisley. You got some circles and stuff.
Hey, thanks. Have you looked down at your tie?
It's Paisley. Cabrera again foul. Stone's in a glass house for me right now. Asdrubal Cabrera putting together one of the best offensive seasons of his career. As the Mets look to perhaps turn into sellers, the trade deadline approaching, this is a piece that they could move. Question is, how deep into sell mode will they go? And Cabrera is a pretty sure thing to move, but the big questions are the arms. Guys like Jacob deGrom, Noah Syndergaard. Another 2-2. Alex Wood strikes out the side in the first inning. 1 outing after he had just 2 Ks. He gets 3 here in the first.
Felt good about the first 2, some fine execution. The last one, when he strikes out Cabrera, he's shaking his head because he missed his spot.
Top two, no score. Middle third of the Dodgers order coming up against Zach Wheeler. And it's Matt Kemp going through one of his first extended slumps of the season. Looking for his first hit since last Saturday.
This is a good guy to get hot against. Matt Kemp, one of the best at slugging the fastball. 94 and above. He's second. So he likes the heater right now. And usually you get a veteran player maybe on what most would consider age-wise on the downside. The fastball is what starts to beat him. I don't think Matt right now would consider himself on the downside. He would feel like this is a second wind.
That's a great way to put it. A year ago, maybe, yeah, it looked like he was on the downside of his career, but he's recaptured something in his return to the Dodgers. He takes a slider for a strike, and it's 2-2. Top five in the National League, hitting above 320. Foul tipping this one into the glove of Mesoraco for strike three. Wheeler's second.
During the at-bat, he broke out his slider, but he goes back to that split change that has got him a swing and miss, a ground out, and now a strikeout.
Wheeler coming off of one of his best starts against a good Arizona offense on Sunday. Held the Diamondbacks to 2 runs on 3 hits over 6 innings. Threw his windup and home to Cody Bellinger with a fastball strike. Bellinger finds himself slumping again. 1 for his last 16. Strikeouts in half of those at-bats. On this 0-1, takes it to the top of the zone for strike 2. Back-to-back Ks to open the second. Brings up Yasiel Puig, brings us to our Carl's cam. Having some fun prior to the game, making this kid's night, probably making his year. I get to play catch with Yasiel Puig. What a story.
If I was playing catch with Yasiel Puig, I'd be excited, but I just would not want him to cut it loose.
Looks like he's taking care of her. Fouls the first pitch back. Actually, the kid in the stands was putting a little more into it than Puig was. Check me out, Yasiel.
Where we just came from in Wrigley, I used to do that a lot. It was a lot of fun. When the Cubs wouldn't come out for their own BP, but ours was finished, I would take a trash can out of the area of the maintenance guys, and I would put a $100 bill or my jersey in the trash can. I would throw balls up in the stands, and whoever got it in the can got the jersey or the $100 bill.
1 ball, 2 strikes. How often did it happen?
Oh, I made sure somebody won each time we did it.
Okay.
It was like once every trip into Chicago we do it, and you know, I'd throw it to the people at the top row of the bleachers, and they'd be throwing it. I'd move the can way back, and then I'd have to slowly move it in so that somebody could get it in.
2-2.
They had a blast. Roger McDowell, when he was a Met, would take the hose out of the maintenance area and squirt the fans on the hot days.
Nice. Puig lays off, count goes full. You wouldn't want the hose today. Temperatures in the high 60s. Some unseasonably cool weather on this road trip, both ways. Storms coming through tomorrow, and then it's supposed to heat up Sunday. Very humid into the high 80s. Puig down on strikes. Wheeler touching 98 that time, and he strikes out the side in the second.
the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets, enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download MLB Ballpark app today.
Back in New York, no score, no base runners so far for either side, as Wilmer Flores leads off the second against Alex Wood, promptly bangs a hit to right, and there's your first base runner of the day. The first pitch of the second against Wood after he struck out the side in the first.
Target down, fastball up, and a nice swing right there from Flores, hitting that line drive to right.
That brings up Michael Conforto. Promising young player for the Mets who's had a roller coaster early on in his career. Debuted when he was 22 a few years back, hit 3 home runs in the postseason that year. But then the next season hit .220, demoted to the minors. Said that was a wake-up call. So last year had a breakout season, was an all-star. But then shoulder surgery towards the end of the season, and he's had a hard time bouncing back from that so far in 2018. No balls, 2 strikes.
Bat speed looks really good and his approach looks good, but as he is swinging, it seems like the bat gets in and out of the hitting area very quickly. Very short area there over the plate that he could get hot.
One and two. Of course, the opposite of that is when you hear about a lot of elite hitters talking about their bats being in the zone for a long time. Something Justin Turner has tried to maximize with his new swing. It's not new anymore, but the Justin Turner swing that we all know, that's part of what makes it so good, is how long it's in there.
You get the bat on the plane of the baseball and then keep it in there as long as possible. And for Justin also, not only the plane of the bat staying on the plane of the ball, but hitting the ball out in front. And that's where that lift comes from, that backspin.
2-2. Conforto hits a ground ball that should be 2. There's one, and a wide throw allows Conforto to reach. Turner threw it wide. Hernandez had to reach for it. And Conforto has good wheels, and so it's just a fielder's choice.
Justin does a nice job fielding this, but you're right, the feed spreads Kike Hernandez's legs out, so when you get that kind of angle going towards center field with a wide base, it's going to be harder to turn and quickly throw the ball to first. A little more nimble when you can keep your feet closer together and the throw's on the bag.
Jose Bautista bangs a line drive into center for a base hit. Yes, Jose Bautista is a starting right fielder for the New York Mets right now. And 37-year-old with a single into center.
Powerful, quick bat. He's always been a good low ball hitter.
Here's Devin Mesoraco, who is the return of the Matt Harvey deal. Remember, the Dodgers saw Matt Harvey with the Cincinnati Reds right after that trade happened. Two on, one out. Mesoraco looks at a curve for a strike.
If you're going to find one statistic that Alex Wood has really gone down in, it's leaving men on base compared to last year, which was his best year of his career. Last year he left about 80% of the people that got on base. This year only 63%.
That rate is the second lowest rate in baseball. And you put all the numbers together, and kind of the opposite of what we were talking about with John Lester the other day, the very high strand rate. The difference in the way Alex Wood and John Lester have pitched this year, a lot of it boils down to that stat right there. John Lester stranded everybody that's gotten on behind him. And with Wood, he's not gotten out of many jams. Falls behind Mesoraco here 3-1.
Yeah, the two things I remember most about Alex Wood's best year of his career last year and his all-star year were the strike throwing ability and command down in the strike zone. Just here I come, I'm right at you, right down there. And then when he got in jams, getting out of them.
Won 16 games last year. Sub-3 earned run average, all-star for the first time. That's the 3-1 fly. Mesoraco takes ball 4 and the bases are loaded.
You say he walks him with a breaking ball and you go, what's he doing? Use the fastball. Well, right now the fastball is 4 for 11 as far as strikes, and then the breaking ball is almost 90%. So he went with the pitch that he's confident in.
And up comes Ahmed Rosario. First full major league season for him. And his first at bat of the night comes in a nice spot. Conforto at third, Bautista at second, and Mesoraco at first. Rosario slaps the first pitch foul. Dodgers were here for his Citi Field debut a year ago. Called up on August 1st. One of the most anticipated shortstop debut for the Mets since Jose Reyes came in way back in 2003. Hit 248 as a rookie. And some of the shine has been lost. Part of that, though, is what's happening across town with Gleyber Torres, another young middle infielder. Oh, 2.
Went up the ladder and Rosario went right with him to stay alive.
Bases loaded, second inning. 0-2 is a bouncing ball to third. Turner with a short hop pick, and he comes home for the force. Heck of a play by Justin Turner to get the force out at home and keep it scoreless.
You pre-play ground balls that are going to be hit to you in this situation to your left. Go for 2 straight at you, and weak like this, you got to come home because you're not going to get the double play. Be sure of 1, especially the lead one.
Just as good as a strikeout for Alex Wood. And now the pitcher Wheeler, who is a very good hitting pitcher, 240 this year. Foul tip, strike 1. So here Alex Wood finds himself with a chance to improve that strand rate. This is where he's struggled. Opponents hitting .368 with runners in scoring position and 2 out. Here he comes with an 0-1. Ball 1. Strike 2.
Curveball's been the best pitch so far in the game as far as consistency and sharpness. Will he go with it with the pitcher up there with 2 strikes? Trust Austin Barnes if he bounces it to block it.
Got him swinging and got out of the bases loaded jam in the second.
today's game, and a lot of Mets fans remember this with Chase Utley. October 10th of 2015, the slide that broke the leg of Ruben Tejada in the 2015 NLDS, and then in May 28th of 2016, Noah Syndergaard throwing behind Utley, and Utley made the Mets pay. The home run, the grand slam. A lot of Mets fans commenting on Twitter, guys, that Chase Utley, how convenient he comes back against the Mets, a team that he has absolutely destroyed over the course of his career, largely when he was with the Phillies. In 190 games, look at the average, look at the long balls, look at the RBIs, and of course Chase Utley available off the bench today after dealing with that left thumb sprain, but he has absolutely tortured the Mets fans.
Yeah, more home runs and RBIs than any other active player against the New York Mets. Kike Hernandez will lead off this third against Zach Wheeler, who's retired the first 6 Dodgers that he's faced, and pours a fastball over the outside corner for strike 1. And you've been very impressed through 2 innings from Zach Wheeler.
Sure have. He's starting to remind me of when Steven Strasburg made his step forward as a pitcher that was more consistent and not completely relying on throwing as hard as he could, but locating. And I see that discipline right now with him.
Back-to-back off-speed pitches. That one caught the corner, 1-2.
That off-speed pitch right there, the slider we've seen that acts more like a cutter because of the great velocity, and that split finger change. No action to it.
Fastball swatted the other way for a leadoff single. And Kike Hernandez stays hot. First base hit of the night for the Dodgers.
Take a look at the Volkswagen replay of Kike's line drive. Please don't drive your Volkswagen as fast as that ball was hit. That ball is killed over 100 miles an hour.
Leadoff man on for Barnes. You know, the knee jerk may be, wait a minute, you're comparing Zach Wheeler to Steven Strasburg, but it's really not that crazy of a thing when you consider his pedigree as a prospect. He's a former top 10 prospect in all of baseball. He was acquired by the Mets straight up for Carlos Beltran from San Francisco in 2011. It was after he was the 6th overall pick in the draft. Easily the #1 prospect for the Giants at that point. Just had to overcome injury issues. It's 2 full seasons with Tommy John surgery. Finally feeling healthy, and it's been showing. Is 1-1. Fouled off.
Coming back from injury, there's a lot of different stages, and one of the last stages can be the stage that kind of takes you from I'm good enough to pitch, I'm good enough to pitch well, but maybe I can be exceptional, and that's the loosening of your brain and forgetting completely about I could get hurt again and just saying I'm going to go for it. And if he concentrates and this lever system stays together, it could be special.
He's got his 5th strikeout already.
You get that last bit of movement, you get that last bit of control, the ability to throw some secondary pitches consistently where you want them compared to slightly guiding them. Take a look at that non-check swing. How do you describe that one? That was almost a full swing.
Yeah, that'll do. Alex Wood in a sacrifice situation. Once the first one foul.
Just so you guys know, Orel Hershiser already has a Twitter for his tie. It is Orel Hershiser, T-I-E-S-E-R. So far, 4 people are following it, and they have 1 follower. So he follows me, Orel Hershiser, follows me, Nomar, and Joe Davis. And there's 1 follower, and that's Lee Sarkeesian. So there you have it, Orel Hershiser.
Wow. I mean, extra credit for coming up with a great name.
I hope the person who created it owns a tie store. Maybe we can get a deal with them.
That's probably unlikely, but it would be great.
That would be.
Let's see, we got to find this. You got a retweet coming, Tizer.
Oh no! Oh no!
1-2 on Wood. He said to you, "It's me, your new Twitter account." Retweet.
Thanks a lot, Joe. Should I link my real account in that one somehow?
I don't think that's possible.
All right, good.
Let the parody be a parody. Wood going to try it again with 2 strikes. Able to lay it down this time, and Frazier's play is at first. So Wood gets the job done with 2 strikes, and into scoring position goes Hernandez. And Jock Peterson, second trip up there today. What a month of June it's been for Jock. 389 with 8 home runs. Most in the National League this month. Nobody home at third. Hernandez headed there, and regardless of whether or not he's safe, he gets third because a balk has been called. Hernandez reading nobody at home and take it off, and it jarred Wheeler into a balk.
Looked like he threw to third without stepping off, so if he's coming over there in a pickoff move with nobody there, that's why there was a balk.
And now fastball inside, 1-0 on Peterson.
You disengage from the rubber, you can throw the ball anywhere you want, but if you throw it with any kind of pickoff delivery and the base is not occupied, that's a balk.
First chance for the Dodgers with runners in scoring position here. We've been talking about the offensive struggles over the last 7. This has been an issue. 136 with men in scoring position in this span. 1 ball, 1 strike. And there have been other times this year where they've struggled in these situations, but have been overcoming it with home runs. The issue in the latest stretch where they're hitting 136 with runners in scoring position is that they have the lowest slugging in the National League during that stretch. So they don't have the power to overcome the lack of hits with men in scoring position. On a 1-1 pitch, Peterson takes ball 2. Took the split change, ball 3. Max Muncy on deck. Dodgers trying to crack through against Zach Wheeler here in the 3rd. Trying to continue their dominance of the Mets, which they've had the last couple seasons, winning 9 in a row against New York. All the way back to midway through 2016. On a 3-1, Peterson swings and misses, full count. Hernandez at third, 2 gone, and a 3-2. Peterson swings. It's a high fly ball to center. Conforto racing back and laying out to catch it. What a play by Michael Conforto to steal a run from the Dodgers.
Wheeler makes a mistake. Jock Peterson hits a bullet, but Michael Conforto makes no mistake with this catch to keep this game at 0-0.
Bottom three, no score. Top of the Mets order against Alex Wood. It's Brandon Nimmo swinging to the first pitch, following it back, strike one. What a play by Michael Conforto to rob Jock Peterson of an RBI hit. Mets have been the worst defensive team in the National League this year. You wouldn't know it watching that play, though. Nimmo on the ground to first. Bellinger's got it. He'll take it to the bag. One gone, and we say welcome inside. Joe Davis with Oral Hershiser, and I hear your following is really growing.
Thank you. I'm supposed to talk for my tie now.
Yeah.
Hershiser.
Yeah.
Well, I just replied to the site opening up, and I took a picture of the tie and a little bit of my face so you knew it was mine, and said, tonight, this is it.
That's it.
Yours has Paisley's.
I know. I'm making fun of him always wearing Paisley, and I look down. I'm like, oops.
I will always remember the night that Hershiser was created. That was the night that Joe had Paisley's on.
The night that Joe stole Oral's tie.
Oh boy.
Todd Frazier, ball one.
That tie could have been in my closet. I don't know.
Frazier struck out his first time. It's one of the four so far for Wood. He's able to get out of a bases loaded jam in the second. Ground ball to third that backs up Turner across the diamond. 2 out. Well, encouraging stuff so far for Alex Wood, trying to build off of that outing against San Francisco on Saturday when he outdueled Madison Bumgarner. Held the Giants to a run over 5 2/3. And he gets ready to face Asdrubal Cabrera with 2 out in a scoreless third inning. Strike one. Fly ball to right field. Yasiel Puig drifts over. And a 6-pitch third inning for Alex Wood after that bumpy second, getting his night back on track. LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Fourth inning, no score. Dodgers and Mets, first of 3 this weekend as Max Muncy leads off against Zach Wheeler. Cuts and misses on a changeup, strike one. Max has a bunch of family and friends in town watching him, and it might seem like an unnatural spot for a Texas boy to have a big gathering, but his family has a lake house a few hours from here. Takes that one inside. It's 1-1. 2 for his last 18 after the first inning ground out, but even with that slump, top 5 in the National League in OPS. On this 1-1 pitch, fouls it off.
Going to take a lot more than a slump to shake Max Muncy's confidence right now. He is on a high, and he wants to let it keep going. Mechanically locked in, seeing the ball and producing. One.
2-2.
Dodgers knew in Chicago they were going to have some low-scoring games and have to battle in one-run battles because of the wind blowing in. Here, this ballpark tonight, because of the great pitching on the mound, could end up being a tight pitcher's duel again.
It averaged better than 8 runs per game over the first 2 weeks in June. Only 15 runs their last 7 games. Full count on Muncy. Silver lining is the eye test on Wednesday against John Lester. Any other day on any other ballpark, that's a completely different story. On a payoff pitch, Max Muncy hits it foul. We'll do it again.
They hit the ball very hard against Lester. Maybe 15 times they had scorched the ball and got nothing for it. Some of them arcing fly balls that would have been home runs, other gappers that the wind gave the outfielders time to track down. Some line outs to infielders. Just no luck and a strong wind.
Another 3-2. And Muncy starts the 4th with a walk. First one of the day issued by Wheeler. And it brings up the old Met Justin Turner. 4 seasons with New York. Really his first true run at Major League playing time. Played in a handful of games with the Orioles the 2 years prior. But then the Mets claimed him off waivers. His most extended run when David Wright was injured in 2011. Mostly a pinch hitter, utility man here. December of 2013. This came after what was Turner's best season with the Mets. He hit 280. Just started to get excited about some swing changes that he was making. Couldn't wait to apply them the next year. Gets a call. Him and his now wife Courtney were getting in the car in Los Angeles to drive down to San Diego for a players union meeting. He answers his phone. It's the Mets GM Sandy Alderson, letting him know that they're not going to renew his contract. Completely caught him off guard. He's coming off a huge year by his standards at that point. Swings and misses 1-1. Then he gets down to this players union meeting and everybody's introducing themselves, saying, you know, Oral Hershiser, Los Angeles Dodgers. And he's got to introduce himself. Justin Turner just got non-tendered by the Mets. Free agent.
Yeah.
Tries to lay off. It does, and it's 2-1. He was still a free agent a couple of months after that, February of 2014. Just a few days before spring training began, when he ran into former Dodger bench coach Tim Wallach at a Cal State Fullerton alumni game, and they got to chatting. Wallach put in a word with Ned Colletti. They agreed to a minor league deal soon after that. Pops it back and out of play, 2-2. That's a pretty well-known story. A lesser publicized part of that is that Turner had just gotten an offer from the Red Sox as well and was really close to signing with the Red Sox, taking that revamped swing, that overhauled approach, really taking a new guy to Boston. He was very close to becoming a Red Sox. Ned Colletti called.
He probably delayed this decision to Boston, being a Southern California kid. Said, you know what, I might need to give this some time, not jump at that first opportunity.
It's been one of the best parts for him. Doing it in front of friends and family. Doing it for the team he grew up rooting for. Going to games, watching on TV. Living the dream.
He has a deep love for baseball that has grown and got even deeper now that he wears the Dodger uniform. And of course success helps, but wow, can you imagine playing for your hometown team and having success, giving back to the community on a regular basis?
On a 2-2, takes ball 3. I think he's a future manager. That's a long way down the road, I know, but
well, he definitely has the personality, and he's showing the leadership qualities in the locker room right now. He talks baseball all the time. He loves to talk baseball, never gets tired of it, never gets tired of going over new theories or what's happening in the game. Dave Roberts will tell you he knows the rule book inside and out. I'm not sure anybody knows it at Bob Guerin's level, but Justin is probably pretty close.
That's saying something. There goes Muncy. Turner hits a ground ball, base hit. Hit and run executed by the Dodgers. Turner with a hit to left. The first two have reached against Wheeler in the 4th.
Justin just making contact, staying alive, and with the runner going, the hole got even bigger.
So 2 on and nobody out for Matt Kemp. It's no mistake that the offensive struggles have corresponded with Kemp's real first struggle. It's a high fly ball to center field, but got under it. And Conforto will put it away for the first out. Cody Bellinger comes up. 2 home runs against Zach Wheeler in that nightmarish outing for Wheeler at Dodger Stadium last year. 2 of the 39 that he racked up in his Rookie of the Year campaign. Takes ball 1.
Wheeler attacked the upper part of the strike zone with Cody in his first at bat. Cody's got to decide, can I hit that pitch and just missed it, or do I need to lay off of it?
Drills this one on a line to center, but it's right at Conforto. And 2 out.
That one stings in 2 ways. Line it out right at somebody. Do exactly what you want and get no results.
2 on 2 out for Puig. Bellinger not getting the results there despite doing something that he'd like to do more of, and that is hit line drives. He has the 2nd lowest line drive percentage in baseball. With that upright open setup, we've seen him step into a few on first pitches with this. He does again, rolls it off of the hands to third. Frazier on the move, gets him, and the Dodgers squander an opportunity here in the fourth.
Mets pitcher Tom Seaver. Seaver joined the Marine Corps Reserves after high school at the tender age of 18. He served a 6-month active duty stretch before moving on to a city college, then USC, and the major leagues. In 20 seasons with the Mets, the Reds, the White Sox, and the Red Sox, Seaver won 311 games and threw an incredible 231 complete games.
All right, Alana, Alex Wood delivering strike one to Wilmer Flores to get this fourth inning going. Both offenses still trying to crack through. Zach Wheeler and Alex Wood engaged in a good one so far. Tom Seaver would no doubt be proud of. 1 ball, 1 strike. And for Alex Wood, you know that this has had to be a really tough few months for a guy who is a perfectionist. But really hard on himself, as so many guys at this level are. Particularly, though, Alex, and I think he would admit that.
I think we have a lot of perfectionists on big league fields, but not everybody shows those emotions as much as Alex, Clayton, some others, Rich Hill.
Lunges off of the mound to get Flores.
To mention 3 left-handed starting pitchers.
Yeah. So is that a coincidence, or?
No, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think there's a lot of perfectionists out there, right-handed, left-handed. So yeah, that was a coincidence in naming those 3 names. But those are the 3 faces that the camera's on an awful lot. They're out there in the middle of the diamond a lot. You get to see that.
1 out for Conforto. Speaking of, we've not had a chance to dive in on the news about Clayton Kershaw. Instead of starting against Omaha tomorrow, he will start against the New York Mets tomorrow. Strike 1 on Conforto.
Sometimes a weather forecast not only pushes your start back, but maybe even changes the location of it. Some threats in AAA where he was going to pitch as far as rain. Threats here a little bit, but why fly somewhere and maybe not even get to pitch? So, well, let's keep him under wraps here and maybe take the wraps off here depending on the weather.
And you know, knowing Clayton's personality, that he was kicking and screaming, wanting to stay here from the beginning. Curves in for strike 1 and 2. We look at our Mercedes-Benz pitching preview, and it's going to be a good one. Him against DeGrom, who's been one of the best in baseball this year. But when you combine that with that forecast that was in Omaha, it's kind of the last little bit that Kershaw needed to helps seal his case as Wood strikes out Conforto, 2 away in the 4th. Dave Roberts even admitted pregame, yeah, he had the old weather.com app out. He's letting us know and
bringing it right into the meeting.
Oh, yeah. Let's go down to Alana.
You guys, in the weather report, and Clayton Kershaw becoming a meteorologist, a certified meteorologist, started on the plane from Chicago to New York. He was looking at the weather app on the plane and saying, hey, I'm going to go out there. He noticed some weather in Omaha. He's like, I'll be right back. He walked up to first class immediately.
Bautista immediately puts it in play with a pop fly to Muncy. And a 9-pitch 4th for Alex Wood, who's needed just 15 pitches to get the last 6 outs. Tuesday, June 26th at 7:10. The Cubs and Dodgers face off, and the first 40,000 fans in attendance will get a Kike Hernandez bobblehead celebrating his 3-home-run game. Game 5 of the NLCS last year. Brought to you by San Manuel Casino Resort. And it's Kike to lead off this inning against Zach Wheeler, taking ball 1. Base hit his first time. Hitting close to 400 with 3 home runs in his last 10 games. Smacks a ground ball to second as Scrubal Cabrera throws him out, 1 away in the 5th. And here's Austin Barnes. Wheeler, he turned into a big-time prospect, 6th overall pick in the draft at a high school in Georgia. This is for the first one to Barnes, but through elementary school, through junior high, so Little League and growing up, he was never one of the best players. In fact, had a hard time making any of the travel teams. It's 1-1, and then he hit a huge growth spurt when he was 14, going into his 15-year-old year. The velocity followed. And in short order, he became a big-time prospect. He breaks Barnes' bat, 2 up, 2 down in the 5th.
I'll probably get a lot of nasty comments, but I'm not a big travel ball fan for pitchers. I think they get overworked. And I think that the pitch counts in one area, then all of a sudden don't count in another area. If you're members of 2 teams or a couple different leagues, you can all of a sudden take a kid who has a great arm that if you just left him alone and gave him the normal amount of work through the years, you'll figure it out when you get to high school and college, and then if you end up getting drafted. Some of of these outstanding athletes are getting too many reps in their primary sport. Oh. Some of the kids end up getting burnt out mentally.
It's one of the reasons that a lot of studies have cited the rise in Tommy John surgery from.
I mean, it's an old wise tale as far as scouts are concerned, but it's good to get bats from the south and the west, because hitting a lot of reps is good for you, to see the ball keep coming in, learn to hit a breaking ball. And the healthy pitchers come a little bit more from the north and the east, because they don't get as many reps because the weather's not as good to continue playing year round.
2-2.
I don't know what the data is showing, but I know in my generation that's what scouts would talk about. They love to find good arms at other positions like catcher and third base and the outfield, to all of a sudden bring that arm that doesn't have as many bullets out of it and bring it onto the mound.
1, 2, 3, fifth for Wheeler. That's tomorrow's Mets starter Jacob deGrom, who is more of a shortstop in college than he was a pitcher. Halfway home in New York, still no score. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. To the bottom of the fifth we go. No score in this series opener between the Dodgers and the New York Mets. Joe Davis, or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo. Alex Wood has retired 8 straight.
Well, he is going toe-to-toe with Zach Wheeler. One at 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, the other one that can reach 99, but they're both pitching well, and Alex had to pitch out of that bases-loaded jam. Did that. If he continues to do that throughout the year and improve that statistic for him, that LOB percentage, he's going to continue to look like this.
That'd be left on base percentage.
Thank you for that. I need a glossary.
Evan Mesoraco with an awkward swing and a miss for strike one. It was part of that bases loaded opportunity for the Mets in the second, drawing the only walk that Wood has issued. In fact, the second inning tonight is the only inning the Mets have had a base runner. The other 3, Wood has retired him in order. Quickly 0-2.
Mentioned the velocity of both starting pitchers, but both are changing speeds. Wheeler with his split finger change can take it down 10 or 11 miles an hour. Alex Wood's changeup has been effective. The breaking ball's there too. And Wheeler's using a couple different breaking balls, has tried to land the curveball, did it a couple times, but the breaking pitch for him has been his little slider.
Another 1-2. Mesoraco puts it in play gently to third. Turner not in time, and an infield single to open this fifth inning for Mesoraco.
Perfect weight, perfect angle for this infield hit. You got a chance when a catcher's running. Justin Turner give it his best effort, but that ball died and was right down the line. Off balance throw, and the length of it not enough to get the catcher.
Brings up Ahmed Rosario. 22-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. Strike one. Strike two.
Rosario shaking his head after missing that fastball. The Mets haven't seen a lot of fastballs for strikes, around 50% from Alex Wood. Really the breaking stuff, the off-speed stuff has been the command pitches. Almost 75% of those are for strikes.
Down the line, that is just foul. That would have been trouble had it stayed fair. And even with Mesoraco running, it's going to be a long way to go for Matt Kemp to get to it.
Take a look at the Audi pitch cast, and this is a changeup. Target down. No, it wasn't. It was a breaking ball that didn't break much. Fooled me. And fooled Rosario just enough to get him out in front to have that ball be foul.
Comes back with a high fastball that was really high up around the chin, and Rosario still got his bat on it. With the highest swing rates in the sport. Fouls another to stay alive. Part of the reason that Rosario this season has struck out 51 times and walked only 8.
He definitely looks like one of those guys up there, see ball, hit ball.
Swinging coming out of the on deck, sir. 0-2 again. Got in on him. Jam shot to center. Peterson coming on, has to play it on a bounce. The throw to second is late. Didn't get a great read off of the bat. And a dunk single for Rosario. 2 on, nobody out.
Yeah, the two hits have very little exit velocity. A dribbler down the third base line, and now a blooper to right center. Almost caught in the air and almost turned into a possible force play at second.
So after the 2 soft hits, the pitcher comes up in a likely sacrifice situation. They discuss how to defend it.
Last time the Mets had first and second and turned into bases loaded were really hard hit balls by Batista and by Flores, but this inning being set up by a couple of weakly hit balls.
Corners come crashing. Wheeler takes a strike. Bellinger and Turner both risking their lives within about 40 feet of home when that ball flew home.
Wheeler at the plate, and Dodgers employing the wheel defense.
Pretty good.
Sending Kike Hernandez over and crashing with Justin Turner, so they have a man at third to receive the ball as they hope to get a hard bunt.
One ball, one strike.
I wasn't trying to be like slapstick with the language there. I was trying to be subtle. I think it didn't come across subtle.
Sorry that I called extra attention to it.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, it'll be better next time, Dad. On to the second inning. The Mets have had any traffic against Wood. Squares again, pulls it back, swings and misses 1 and 2 as Bellinger and Turner both have their lives flash before their eyes.
If you're going to pull it back, I do not recommend that big a swing. Because really all you want to do is try and make contact on the ground.
Got him swinging. Wheeler unable to get the job done, and a big first out here in the 5th for Wood.
Well, the defense presses him into pulling it back and swinging on the bunt attempt, and then continues right here. Barely shows bunt. Full swing. Excellent pitching. Excellent aggressive defense.
Top of the order, Brandon Nimmo. In a very ugly season for the Mets, Nimmo's been one of the bright spots. Lifts the first pitch he sees down the line. It peels foul. Nimmo was a first-round pick back in 2011, 13th overall out of high school in Wyoming, where they don't even have high school baseball. So they drafted him 13th overall based solely off of American Legion ball, and took a lot of heat for it, taking a guy that high that came from a place that's not exactly a baseball hotbed in Wyoming. And his tires spun in the minors. He dealt with injuries, finally broke in a couple years ago, limited duty the last 2 years. Has finally gotten an everyday chance because of all the injuries they've had, and he's taken off. Top 5 in the National League in OPS. If you had Brandon Nimmo and Max Muncy tied for 3rd in the NL in OPS in late June, you're a winner. A 1 pitch. Fouls it off, strike 2. Pretty heady company for these two guys.
Two you know, two you don't expect.
First and second with 1 out, and Wood to Nimmo with an 0-2. He struck him out in back-to-back Ks after the Mets put him at first and second to open the inning.
Well, Alex Wood has been outstanding getting ahead of hitters. 15 out of 16 first pitch strikes, but when you can finish them off like this, once you get ahead you can expand, and that's what he does right there with that 2-seamer. Good depth to that pitch.
Mets now hitless in 4 tries with runners in scoring position. Todd Frazier, the last hope here in the 5th with 2 out. Takes a strike at the bottom of the zone. Like you were talking about earlier tonight, that was the pitch that was pretty much automatic in the All-Star 2017 for Wood.
You're living down there near the hollow of the knee, and once you live down there, you train the umpires that that's where I'm going to be, and you start to get a lot more of those borderline calls.
Down the line foul. 0-2.
see those fastballs for strikes early and getting ahead, and then you see these off-speed pitches that the Mets are hitting hard, but they're hitting them foul because he's been able to get the bat started with all the strikes, but pull the string on them.
Frazier leaves the fastball up, and it's 1-2. No score, fifth inning. Dodgers had opportunities in the third and the fourth. Left man in scoring position. Mets left and loaded in the second. Here in the fifth, they had first and second, nobody out. Wood back-to-back strikeouts, and now 1-2 to Frazier. Taken low, 2-2.
Game was almost expected. Two starters on the mound that had nice rebound starts in their last starts, where they looked like they were really starting to get it and being effective, and they are continuing that. And then two offenses that kind of limped in.
Here it comes. Rolls inside. The count goes full on Frazier.
2-2 pitch called the action pitch because you want the action then, not with 3-2 with the runners going. Now that double in the gap scores the guy from first.
There go the runners on a 3-2 and a ground ball. Stabbed by Turner. He throws him out. Drawing the helmet spike from a despondent Todd Frazier. Justin Turner perhaps taking a runaway with a 2-out play and 5 shutout innings for Alex Wood. We go inside the box score, brought to you by Kona Brewing Company. Alex Wood, Zach Wheeler, punch for punch, 5 shutout innings in this series opener. On to the 6th inning we go. Wheeler back to work against the top of the Dodger order. Jock Peterson watches a changeup for strike 1. 2 hits and a walk for the Dodgers tonight. Wheeler's racked up 6 strikeouts, including one of Peterson in the first. What's it going to take for the Dodgers to crack through against this right-hander?
They're just going to have to string together some hits. What's it going to take? Get the ball in an area where you like it, hitting it hard. He's definitely on his game, and this is electric. Fastball around 98 at times, and then being able to command that splitter, and then every once in a while take the ball and cut it or slide it. Sometimes when his slider is super hard, like 93, 94, it acts like a cutter, and then he's got some other ones that are down around 90 that break a little bigger.
This is up with a fastball, and it's 2-2 on Peterson. 28 years old, out of Georgia, about 30 miles east of Turner Field where he grew up. Myron Smoltz, Maddox, and Glavin. Those Brave staffs. Goes full on Peterson. In a big baseball family. His dad played amateur ball for about 15 years. Hey, there's John Smoltz, by the way. Doing MLB Network tonight. Doing Fox tomorrow. 3-2. Peterson digs it out foul.
John's taking a break from hitting golf balls to get ready for the U.S. Senior Open.
Big week for him.
Congratulations to him for qualifying for that.
Peterson starting the sixth for the Dodgers and fouling it off. He'll stay alive. Yeah, so Smoltz got into the U.S. Senior Open by winning a three-way playoff. Three-hole, three-way playoff. Can you imagine being one of the other two guys that loses to John Smoltz in that playoff to go to the U.S. Open? You got to be thinking, come on, man. Take your Cy Young and your World Series ring and let me have something. Let me have this. Just misses. Ball 4 to start the sixth.
Mesoraco thought he had a strike. He hopped up from his haunches going, where was that? Gabe Morales behind the plate said it was a ball. Pitchcast said it was a strike.
Gabe Morales, typically a hitter-friendly umpire. Certainly qualified as one there as Max Muncy comes up. Look out, ball 1. Now Muncy not getting the hits the last week or so, but he's still getting on base. The walks have been at an absurd rate. There's always something that he's done. Even when he was struggling with Oakland in his 2 major league seasons there. Still very elite plate discipline, high walk rate. He's ahead of Wheeler here, 2-0.
Something the Oakland organization absolutely loves and values at a very high place when they are scouting.
Ball 3. First time we've seen Wheeler really be around the zone. He's got no room for air with no offense to support him thus far.
That first pitch breaking ball that he pulled back under Muncy's feet kind of set him off as far as rhythm. He has been totally locked in from the windup, just peering over that glove, staring, waiting for the hitter to get ready so he can pitch. But here now, a little change in the rhythm and the location.
Peterson at first, nobody out, and a 3-1. That's a 4-pitch walk. First and second, nobody out in the 6th.
Well, you ask, how do the Dodgers get to him? Well, maybe a couple of free passes. One the umpire might have squeezed him a little bit on, and then one of his own.
5 consecutive misfires from Wheeler, and now he's got to deal with the heart of the order. Justin Turner, who's 1 for 2, extending the on-base streak to 10 games. Gets his hands in on the first pitch. A lazy pop to left that Nimmo comes on to take away. Second diving defensive play from a Mets outfielder tonight. One gone in the sixth.
Very deceptive fly ball. Full swing from a power hitter, but it was jammed and he didn't get the exact read on it until about halfway, and then used his speed to capture that one.
Often it's Nimmo in right and Bautista in left. Tonight the two are flipped, and it pays dividends there. It's not a ball that Bautista probably catches. First and second, one gone, and here's Matt Kemp.
Matt's not afraid to swing at the first pitch heater right here. A lot of times like this, he doesn't wait around.
Number one fastball hitter in baseball. Strike one. Both teams struggling in these situations tonight. Continuation of a theme from the last week for these Dodgers. Wheeler's 0-1. That's ball one. Robert Gesellman loose inning in the Mets bullpen, which, as you put it earlier, has really struggled. Kemp takes strike two.
Wheeler's hit his location the last four pitches. Fastball into Justin Turner, jammed him. He's gotten ahead of Kemp, and with the only ball he's thrown in this at bat, he ran it in under his hands, exactly where Mesoraco wanted it.
On 1-2. Oh, it takes off on him. It was odd looking.
What's interesting is Mesoraco was not crossed up, so that was a curveball grip, a curveball attempt that slipped out of his hand, and they just said, okay, slipped out, let's continue on.
I wonder if Statcast charted it as an ephus.
He might have one in the books.
Peterson at second, Muncy at first, Matt Kemp pokes one to right. On comes Bautista. He'll have to play it in a bounce. Had to wait to make sure that it would fall, so they go station to station and they're loaded up.
Your exact point on the flip of the defenders right and left field. Nimmo got Turner's blooper. Bautista is not going to get Kemp's blooper. So range in left, not in right.
And so Cody Bellinger, who can take some solace in knowing that he struck the ball hard his last time, lined out to center as he tries to break out of this slump, and wouldn't this be a nice time for him to do it? 2 walks and a bloop single in the inning against Wheeler. Cuts through a fastball, strike one. Strike two. Had one to hit there.
Cody overthunked that one. A high fastball. He wanted to attack it early. That's fine. Maybe get a fly ball, get the sac fly. They have stretched Wheeler's pitch count this inning, but still have not plated a run.
Bases loaded in the sixth, and an 0-2 to Cody Bellinger. High drive, right field, forget about it. How far will it go? Into the upper deck, a grand slam. A night-changing swing from Cody Bellinger. Strike one on Yasiel Puig.
He had beat him with the fastball in earlier at bats. He beat him in the first pitches at bat, but not right here. This one ends up in the second deck.
Now Puig rolls a base hit the other way.
We talked about in Cody's second at bat. He's going to have to determine whether he's getting the ball by me or should I lay off of that pitch. He decided, no, I can get to it. I just got to make a little better swing.
He did for his 13th home run of this season. Zach Wheeler, who put up 5 shutout innings, looked like he was on the verge perhaps of wiggling his way out of this jam in the 6th. He had gotten the first out. He had gotten 2 strikes on Bellinger. Couldn't finish off a guy that owned him last year, getting him twice in his 2 innings of work.
A fastball right there, just barely above the belt. That's a slider down and in that Cody got. So 3 home runs off of him and 3 different pitches. This one's a little higher fastball, and Cody made a few adaptations to his stance. Has caught him with both stances in all 3 swings.
Well, it's amazing how different the tone becomes with one loud crack of the bat. Dodgers reaching that magic number with that one swing. But you go from the Dodgers kind of saying, well, here we go again with the issues with runners in scoring position, to the Mets saying, here we go again. Losers of 20 of their last 26. Hernandez with a fly ball to right. Puig didn't see it. He's got to hustle back to avoid a double play. The throw beats him. And the inning ends. But it ends after Cody Bellinger unloads on a ball. From no score to 4-0 with one swing and a Bellinger grand slam.
Monday, June 25th through Thursday, June 28th. It's their first matchup at home since the Dodgers finished them off in Game 5 of the NLCS. Visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
One promo, one pitch, one out. Asdrubal Cabrera lining to Kemp in left, and Alex Wood with a well-earned lead here. He's pitched very well through 5 innings tonight.
He sure has, and a lot more relaxed out there with a 4-run lead. Won his last start against the Giants. Got a chance now to beat the Mets and maybe turn his season around.
Wilmer Flores taking a strike. Alex Wood tonight. There's 3 1-2-3 innings. And he's pitched out of the couple of jams in the 2nd and in the 5th. Ball on a strike here on Flores. In position now to get his first win against the Mets in his 9th career start against them. The Dodgers try to take this series opener and get to even at 2-2 on this road trip. 2 more games coming. As good of a pitching matchup as you'll find tomorrow. Clayton Kershaw coming back for the Dodgers. Jacob deGrom for the Mets. And on Sunday, it's Rich Hill against Jason Vargas. Two and two. Flores pops it up. Right side Bellinger. 2 up, 2 down. We go down to Alana.
It's very much time now for the Land Rover Performance Spotlight. We want to spotlight bench coach Bob Guerin. It's his 3rd season in Los Angeles, but prior to coming to the West Coast, he was the Mets bench coach from 2012 to 2015. He's had a lot of success in that position with the teams he's been with. He's been 2 of the last 3 teams have gone to be national championship teams. Of course, the 2015 Mets at the hands of the Dodgers in a certain sense, and the 2017 Dodgers as well, guys.
Bobby G. Wonder if Bob got to ride his bike in Manhattan today. Michael Conforto takes inside, 2-0.
And he's not a 1-bike guy either. He's got 2 or 3 bikes.
Oh yeah.
Got the portable one where he can fold it up, put it compact in the trunk of a car. He's got his full-blown mountain bike. I think he's got one more other than that.
Much prefers being on a trail to being on a road.
Less cars.
Ideally. 3-1. So Manhattan may not be his favorite spot to bike. Just thinking about that. Not too many places you can go to get away from cars. Central Park. Thing's huge.
It is huge.
Get lost in there.
We didn't do one of our favorite things. We like to eat in Central Park at the Boathouse. Overlooks the lake there. It's beautiful. But instead we went to Tavern on the Green for lunch.
Conforto slaps one to left. It'll sink in front of Kemp for a 2-out hit. There's a big group of players that got together, got a boat for the off day, and had a nice relaxing day out on the water. It's a good city to have a day off in. 1 on with 2 out, and Jose Bautista, who's 1 for 2 today, comes up to hit. Take strike 1. You're talking about New York restaurants. I don't know the exact numbers or the exact fact, but it's something like you could live to be 100 years old, eat at a different place for all 3 meals every single day of your life and never repeat. High drive to left center. Bautista leaves the building. A 2-run shot has the Mets right back in it at 4-2.
gets a base hit, and Bautista gets a blast. This didn't take long. Dodgers built an inning and got a granny. Mets didn't build much of an inning and got 2.
So both offenses cracking through here in the 6th. Justin Turner's made a few really nice plays on short hops down at third today. Right here he gets Mesoraco to finish the inning. A couple of home runs in the 6th, and it's 4-2 to the 7th.
Ross Stripling gives us an inside look at his off-the-field passion for stockbroking, plus Cody and Kike make a surprise visit to the family of a fallen U.S. Navy sailor. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, tonight, right after the post-game show on Sportsnet LA.
Austin Barnes takes ball 1 from Zach Wheeler. Off we go in the 7th. Both teams were scoreless through 5, both getting home runs in the 6th. Breaking balls in there. It's 1-1. 99 pitches now for Zach Wheeler. Season high is 110. And there has been action down in that Mets bullpen. 1-2.
You give up the grand slam, you get a visit from your pitching coach or manager. I can't remember who came out, but then that builds that emotional callus when you say, you know what, I'm still fine. I'll stay out here. We got the hit right after the granny. There is a level of you're going to move from prospect, potential, electric stuff to somebody that really produces on a start-in, start-out basis.
Strikes out Barnes looking.
You got to get that toughness built.
It's the 7th of the night for Zach Wheeler, and the night officially will end for Alex Wood as Logan Forsythe comes up to hit. Forsythe quietly one of the hottest Dodgers during this rough patch of offense. 370 in his last 9 games. A bit of a blemish on Wood's final line, giving up that 2-run home run to Bautista, but still a nice looking body of work. Strike 1 on Forsythe.
He's going to go up the tunnel feeling good about the performance. Yeah, you're going to shake your head about the home run to Bautista, but he knows he pitched out of a bases loaded jam. He had another inning where there's a little traffic. He did a fine job.
Some encouraging stuff between him and Alex Wood when you're looking at the rotation lately. been holding things together with Ross Stripling and other guys filling in here and there with the DL stint so many guys have had. It's up 1-2. And then you're going to get Kershaw back tomorrow.
The thing about Rich Hill, Alex Wood, Ross Stripling, yeah, he gets a blemish on his hot streak in Chicago, but that wasn't that bad of an outing.
Ground ball to first. Flores to the bag, 2 out.
Some good things are happening.
And tonight getting some support from the long ball. Cody Bellinger's grand slam, 36 home runs this month for the Dodgers, most in the majors, even with the lapse in the last few days.
They want to get these bats hot. Not only hot with these home runs, they will take that, leading the majors as far as this length of time, but what they really want to do is start getting a little bit more consistent and more production with runners in scoring position.
Wheeler nearing his season high in pitches, delivers to Jock Peterson, ball 1. One and 1. Jock broke his bat. He'll get a new one. Bat boy's ready for him. I mentioned Wheeler from a baseball family with his dad playing 15 years of amateur ball. His mom was a big softball player for many of Wheeler's young years. She used to set up a playpen in her softball team's dugout so she could play the games in the tournaments on the weekend and have Zach with her. Give it a watch, Zach. Teammates would help too, and she'd go out to the field. He had an older brother play pro baseball. Adam Wheeler was a pitcher in the Yankees system. That changeup misses, and it's 2-2. Said he learned a ton from Adam's experiences, which were just 4 years in the minors, but a lot of the struggles he went through, Zach's been able to apply to his own career, learn from those mistakes that Adam made. Peterson tops that one foul to stay alive. Peterson turns on it, foul. Scott Alexander ready for the bottom of the 7th. Zach Wheeler to Jock Peterson with the 7th pitch of this at-bat. It's a 2-2. Peterson wraps it foul. We'll do it again. Somebody over in the dugout said, "Hey, check that. I think you might have cracked it. Thanks for the assist." He needs a 3rd bat for this at-bat.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it was Chase Utley that yelled that out. He is so in tune with bats.
As Alana reported, Chase activated tonight. That's the kind of stuff he was doing, though, even when he was on the DL, even when he's not active, not in the lineup. Wheeler digging deep, home with another 2-2. Peterson hits a fly ball the other way that sends Nimmo back to the warning track to finish a 1-2-3 7th. And likely Zach Wheeler's night. We stretch in a 4-2 game in New York. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado, in theaters June 29. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Tour of the great pizza cities continues. Chicago to New York. Scott Alexander on in a 4-2 game to handle the bottom of the 7th.
Scott Alexander, like Alex Wood, really finding the command of the bottom of the strike zone of late.
Finds it with strike 1 to Rosario.
Such a fine line between being good down there and great down there. 3-4 inch difference. You're looking for that kind of execution.
Goes right back there and gets ahead of Rosario 0-2. Last 4 outings for Scott Alexander, no hits. Part of a bullpen that's been a big part of the turnaround for the Dodgers since mid-May. He's produced ground balls at a higher rate than anybody in baseball. 1 out in the 7th. You go back to mid-May, the Dodgers set at 16-26. A big culprit was the bullpen. It was one of the worst in the National League, but since then, second best. And they've turned the season around, going from 16-26 in that first span to 22-9 since. The veteran Jose Reyes.
As far as the bullpen, you have to start at the top with Kenley Jansen, how he turned his year around after a slow start. The addition of Eric Goodell down there, fantastic right-hander. Scott Alexander, after going down to AAA, comes back and is really the guy that they signed and is producing at that level.
Hey, very quietly, Daniel Hudson, 8 consecutive scoreless outings. It's an opposite field liner that Puig plays on a bounce. Jose Reyes has come alive lately for these Mets. He's got a 1-out single. So up comes Brandon Nimmo. 10 of his 12 home runs have come over the last month, and boy, would he like one here, representing the tying run in the bottom of the 7th inning. They weren't ever sure that this kind of power would come for this guy. They were hopeful that he'd hit for a high average. But even in the minors, he never hit more than 11 in a season. Strike 1.
Scott Alexander, just stay positive out there, keep the ball down by the knees, make him hit the top of it.
Ground ball sharply to short. Hernandez to Muncy, and that's all they'll get. Nimmo out number 2. Forward and a fielder's choice. Now with 2 gone, it's Todd Frazier. Local guy, grew up in New Jersey, but as a New York Yankees fan, number 21 that he wears, that's because of Paul O'Neill. He was his favorite player in the 90s. Got to live a dream playing for the Yankees last year in the second half. It's a Little League legend. Toms River, New Jersey, Little League World Series squad. Star shortstop on that team that beat Japan for a Little League World Series title in 1998. He had 4 home runs in Williamsport, including in the first at-bat of the championship game against Japan. He's one of their best pitchers as well. Takes a perfect pitch, 0-2. .32 years old now in his 8th season. First year of a 2-year contract signed this offseason with the Mets. Alexander brings him in 0-2, and it's taken in the dirt, ball 1. Softly hit to first. Bellinger to the bag, and a scoreless 7th for Scott Alexander. To the 8th we go in New York with the Dodgers in front 4-2. Dodgers presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. Alex Wood trying to win back-to-back starts for the first time this year. Got some help from Cody Bellinger's second career slam.
Yeah, somebody on our set earlier called his shot.
That guy right there.
That guy?
These
Big
two guys,
surprise.
they're going to break it down after the game. Alana will have reaction from the clubhouse. We'll see you after the game.
All right, guys. Mets bullpen gets to work with Anthony Swarzak. Missed most of the first 2 months with an injury. First year in New York for him. Delivers strike 1 to Max Muncy. He's got 2 more walks tonight. Both those against Zach Wheeler, who's done after 7. 1 ball, 1 strike. All the runs in this game coming off 2 swings. Grand slam for Cody Bellinger. 2-run shot for Jose Bautista. All that happening in the 6th. 2-1. Pop flies, shallow center. Michael Conforto puts Muncy away for the first out. Here's Turner. Turner swings at the first pitch, slices a fly ball to right. Jose Bautista still coming and making a sliding catch. All three outfielders have made nice sliding or diving plays tonight. Bautista gets involved in that action.
He ran a long way for that. Decided to go Willie Mays basket catch.
Fordo's playing center. That was one of the best defensive plays we've seen all year, I think.
It sure was.
They're back in the third inning to rob Jock Peterson of an RBI and of extra bases. With two gone in the eighth, it's Matt Kemp. Turns his shoulder on a strike. Kemp with a bloop single his last time, and sometimes that's all it takes to get going. Snapped an 0 for 14 skid. And got Bellinger to the plate for what would be his grand slam. A pop up here. And a lightning quick eighth inning for Anthony Swarzak. To the bottom half we go. Dodgers up 4-2. Justin Turner's made a few nice picks down at third.
He's been fantastic. He has such a slow heartbeat in the batter's box, but he takes it out there on defense also. Bases loaded, the play came home, makes a snag. He has such a great baseball clock. You just see the ease at which he goes about his business out there.
Scott Alexander was efficient in the seventh, so he's back out there for the eighth, and he delivers strike one to Asdrubal Cabrera. Who is 0 for 3 tonight. He's coming off 4 consecutive multi-hit games. It's a hard ground ball to short. Hernandez knocks it down and has no play.
Kike will tell you that this play must be made, and it's made by him an awful lot. He catches this ball, spins around, and guns the first. But the first portion of that play didn't happen.
That allows the Mets to get the tying run to the plate here in the eighth inning with Wilmer Flores coming up. Anytime we come here, it always brings a smile to my face when Wilmer Flores comes up with the Friends theme song as his walk-up song. Strike one. Flores 1 for 3. Like so many members of this Mets team, he's missed time this year with an injury. Now in his 8th game back, been missing time with a sore back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Flores 26 years old. He's in his 6th year now. Coming off his best season. Hit above 270. Had 18 home runs. But stunted by the injury issues this year. Pokes one foul, and it's 1-2. Alexander's 1-2. Flores strikes out swinging for the first out of the 8th. Time for our Dodger calendar, brought to you by Nissan. A couple of more games on this road trip. Tomorrow is exclusively on Fox at 4 o'clock Eastern, or 4 o'clock Pacific. And a morning game on Sunday, getaway day. Dodgers will get back into Los Angeles late Sunday night. And then it's the Cubs again, coming in for a 4-game series. 1 on, 1 out. Michael Conforto looks at ball 1. Exciting for the Dodgers and Cubs to get together again. 3 tight games this week at Wrigley. Again, looking like 2 of the top teams in the National League. 2-0 on Conforto. All 7 matchups between the Dodgers and Cubs, the last 2 National League champions. All 7 matchups in a 10-day span this summer. Two and one on Conforto.
Scott Alexander having a little difficulty with his command this inning. The ball has been up. He hasn't really been living at the knees. The one that he got Flores out on the strikeout was the only one that really the bottom fell out of.
Big bouncer. Muncy waits on it, juggles, and opens the door. Nobody's home at third. They're at the corners with 1 out, with an ugly lapse from Max Muncy. Third start of the season at second base for him. Somewhere that he's played sparingly throughout his career. And it's the first time that he's looked bad there.
Dodger infielders right now up the middle would tell you that there are 2 balls that they should have had. Kike Hernandez, the ball started the inning, was graded a hit, but Kike will tell you that was an error. And then Muncy with the bobble. Scott Alexander found his way in his sinker, a turbo sinker, and that last one hit the top. Dave Roberts sprints out of the dugout, just comes out there to encourage everybody, lock them back in.
Try to lock him back in before Jose Bautista hits. Jansen and Fields both getting ready. Bautista, the owner of the game's only runs batted in for the Mets, with a 2-run home run his last time up. Guy that over a 6-year span, 2010 to 2015, hit more home runs than anybody in baseball. Ground ball up the middle. Hernandez has it to second one. A low throw is dug out, and a double play gets him out of it. It remains 4-2 as we roll on to the 9th inning. all the difference in this game. Cody Bellinger's 13th home run was a grand slam in the 6th.
Starting to look like he was reeling and going to be in a slump. But you know what? One swing changed everything in this game, and I'm sure it changes everything in Cody Bellinger's mind.
Facing a new Mets pitcher, Jerry Blevins, on to handle the 9th inning as the Dodgers try to gather some insurance in front of what will be Kenley Jansen's bottom of the 9th. First pitch from Blevins in there for a strike. Bellinger, prior to the grand slam, was 1 for his last 18 with strikeouts in half of those at-bats. Although an encouraging thing, the at-bat before the grand slam, he smoked a line drive that happened to be caught in center. Here he fouls it. It's 0-2. One and two. Bottom third of the New York order coming up in the bottom of the 9th. Mesoraco, Rosario in the pitcher's spot. Dodgers trying to make it 13-5 in June, best in the National League. Trying to go to 23-9 since that 16-26 start. Able to lay off. Count evens up. Diamondbacks, by the way, are scoreless in the 10th inning in Pittsburgh. Dodgers open the day 2.5 back of Arizona. Off the end of the bat in short left field. Nimmo. That brings up Yasiel Puig and brings us to a reminder about the Puigi Bank. Saturday, June 30th. Presented by Bank of America, the Puigi Bank giveaways. The Rockies are in town. First 40,000 fans in attendance are going to get this very unique giveaway. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions to learn more. You can actually do it right now, so we've got a break in the action. Jerry Blevins out after getting the left-handed batting Bellinger, and back into the bullpen they go. Two. Try to come up with some insurance before Kenley Jansen takes it for the bottom of the 9th. With one out, it's Yasiel Puig. There's Kenley Jansen continuing to get ready. He's been so good since that Rockies start to the season, solidifying the bullpen and providing the foundation for what has been a great run for the pen since mid-May. 1 ball, no strikes. Hooks one in the air to left that sends Nimmo back, running out of room and watching it fly. Puig just gets it over the wall for a solo home run, giving the Dodgers some 9th inning insurance. Number 9 of the season, and it's 5-2.
After the first pitch, ball 1 to Yasiel Puig, he turned and yelled something to the Dodger dugout. And sits on this slider and gets enough of it, palm up swing, and elevated this ball to left field with some backspin and gets it out of here.
So the old formula's back tonight. All 5 runs coming off home runs. All 9 of Puig's home runs coming since the DL stint. Bases empty, 1 out. Kike Hernandez looks at ball 1. They'd hit just 1 home run over the last 4 games. Tonight, Bellinger and Puig both going deep. Ball on a strike on Hernandez. Look out, Turner. Down the line, foul.
Sometimes the ball finds you and you can't get it done. Kike Hernandez, this was graded as a hit, but he would tell you it was an out. Then these guys got together after Muncy botched 1, Kike botched 1, and all of a sudden, what happens? Ball finds them again. They turn 2. That kept this game where the Dodgers were up by 2.
Kike swings wildly at that one. 2 gone. Swear and Turner Ward out right now.
He wears them out when things are going bad, and he wears them out when things are going good.
Yeah. Yeah, more kisses when things are good. Austin Barnes looks at a ball. Again, 4 o'clock Pacific tomorrow. Kershaw and DeGrom. Best of a generation. Banged up lately, but coming off of the disabled list. Facing maybe the best right now in Jacob DeGrom. Barnes grounds out to short. We go to the bottom of the 9th after the Puig home run. The lead is 3 for Kenley Jansen. trying to convert his 17th consecutive successful save.
It's one thing to be locked in on one night. It's another thing to string them all together, and that's what Kenley is doing right now. The cutter has been on the location of both sides of the plate and even mixing in the slider as he changes speeds.
Started the season having blown 2 of his first 4. Really a nightmarish first month for him. And when your closer is struggling the way Kenley Jansen was early, even if everything else is going right, you really don't have much of a chance to string together a very good run. It's kind of like having a beautiful house built on sand. And that's what it felt like for the first few weeks. Even if things had been going better in other departments, you just didn't have that solid foundation working back to front. Kenley Jansen not himself early. Bottom part of the order, Devin Mesoraco in a 5-2 game, bottom 9. Strike 1.
Some of the most depressing losses are the ones that when the closer gives it up, because you feel like you're going to win for that last inning and then it doesn't happen. And it's another thing when it's a veteran closer, somebody you come to expect to do it. Young closer that's just learning the job, or maybe somebody who has just been moved into the closer role and they're testing him. Well, the veterans come around that guy when they lose that game and they encourage him and they keep him going. But when the guy who gets the loss or doesn't get the save, somebody like Kenley Jansen, he's one of the guys in the clubhouse that is the encourager, is the leader. And all of a sudden, he takes the dent.
1-2 on Mesoraco.
Different situation now. A lot of confidence when he comes in, like they have had over the course of 95% of his career.
Fly ball to left center. Easy play from Matt Kemp on the first out of the 9. You got to beat the teams you should. And on paper, this is a series the Dodgers should win. Facing a team that's lost 20 of its last 26. Worst in the National League at 20-40 since starting the season 11-1. And on the strength of a couple of home runs, they're in position to take the opener tonight. Still a couple of outs to get. Ahmed Rosario with 1 gone. Jansen delivers, and Rosario takes strike 1. Strike 2. And suddenly tomorrow, we're coming into the series before the Kershaw announcement, you looked at it and said, well, maybe that's one that you shouldn't expect to be able to get. But Jacob deGrom going against Caleb Ferguson, that now looks like a much better situation for the Dodgers with Clayton Kershaw going.
And riding over here on the bus today, I was thinking tonight was kind of a must-win if you want to win the series. But now the odds are a little better.
Foul tipped into the mid, strike 3, and Jansen and the Dodgers an out away. I think Kershaw's got the energy over there, throwing the ball around, looks ready to burst from the seams. Walker Buehler next to him. Sounds like Buehler's trending in the right direction too.
Good news coming from him. I think they're getting ready to put him on a hill, let him have a side work.
Dominic Smith pinch hitting with 2 gone in the 9. South Central Los Angeles native Dominic Smith. Taking ball 1 from Jansen. So you already got Maeda back. You already got Hill back. Kershaw back tomorrow. Buehler back soon. Ryu to come. Urias to come at some point. And you can figure there are supplements, additions coming with the trade deadline now but a month and a half out, less than a month and a half out.
Conversations between general managers and presidents are getting a little bit more serious. The phone was ringing about testing the water and seeing who could be available, who really is projecting that, yeah, we will probably be sellers or we will probably be buyers.
1-2.
The landscape gets a little bit more defined the closer you get to the deadlines.
It's amazing the work of the front offices. You go through the Major League Baseball draft, which is a monster of a project for a few weeks. You take a breath from that, and you look up at your calendar and you're a month away from the trade deadline. Ready to bolster the rosters or sell, depending on which way you're coming at it. Jansen ready for a 1-2. Hesitates, delivers, and strikes him out to finish it off. Behind a Bellinger grand slam and a Puig solo shot, the Dodgers take the opener in New York by a final of 5-2.
That's a blueprint that the Dodgers can follow the rest of the year. Strong starting pitching, offense that comes through during a pitcher's duel, and closing it out with a very strong bullpen.
So the Dodgers now National League best 13-5 in June. They are 23-9 over the last month plus. For Oral Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from New York, where the Dodgers take this opener 5-2. We'll be back with you.